doing the wealth coach. If you want to
Oh
get your
man.
wealth up, you need to get this do-rag. Is it the do-rag? Is it the books? No, it's a combination of things. First step, get the do-rag. Then get your kids glasses. Then get them their books. See, people want like after the story I told you, you think I'd be sad, but it's like, what's the point? What's the point of being sad? Like, honestly, I'm not gonna be sad. You're not gonna
Man.
find me crying because like, what's it gonna do for me? So I might as well be. If I'm gonna choose how I'm gonna be positive. That's all. Like, what's the point? No one cared. See a
Be
grown man
positive.
crying. No, I'm just gonna be positive. I'm just gonna be positive.
Oh man. You're 40.
You know, I'm just going to be positive because what can I do? Being negative is not gonna help me.
Most definitely not.
I can actually see the road. I haven't seen the road with high beams before. I haven't seen the road in I don't even know how many days, and I got heat. Jeez,
I'll take this. I'll use this. If
grinding. You don't wanna see a brother like me shining, grinding. These mans are sleeping, huh?
he always answers and then disappears after. He says yo, and then I never hear back from him.
That man's, that
Brother.
man's low key. That man's low key a superhero or something.
He's like, yo, and then I'm like, yo. And I say something, then he goes ghost for like 2 days. He's like, yo, my bad, bro. I was doing something. I was like, what? He's doing something.
Funny guy, man. I was like, yo, bro, that was a week ago. Yeah, yeah, I know, but
Yeah. And
oh
then the
my
man called me
god,
back Monday. I was like, oh, dog. Or you text me, yo, in the middle of something.
why is it not staying?
What?
My phone.
I don't know. But now you're gonna become the goddamn sugar when they see the BMW.
Yo,
I'm
listen, I want
like,
these shorties to know. Don't ask me for a dime. Oh my god. Don't ask me for a dime.
uh,
I want a provider. Listen, I'm providing for myself. Don't ask me for nothing.
here comes the goddamn
Don't ask
sugar.
me for Nathan. I'm like, shorty, I don't have the O for you. I took away the O, I put an A. Don't ask me for nothing. I don't ask nothing. Don't please.
Here comes the goddamn sugar.
Oh my God, is that your car? I'll be like, yes. Oh, what's it for? To go to work. It's a working vehicle. That's what it's for.
Oh man.
Don't ask me for anything. I don't got it. It's a no.
We're eligible for CRBC employees. We're eligible for CRBC employees. A few years back, I was worried about the interest I was going to pay on my new car, but a colleague of mine mentioned.
I'd like to talk about a great employee perk here at the ABC that I've used in the
The
past.
gas is already showing me it's close to quarter tank, which means it's time to put gas in.
Well, just be glad there's no more carbon tax.
Yo, thanks. So I got thanks to Mark Carney or this car is nice though. I'm not gonna lie, but listen, I didn't get it to shine. I just wanted to get it to work.
Fuck, this guy's voice is so deep. This guy's voice, holy. This guy's
CRBC employees. I think this free loan. I used the loan to.
Oh, I didn't even add volume to his voice. That's why. Fuck.
Work here at the ABC that I've used in the past. At CAB,
Don't wanna stay in a line with
changer for
see
my
a brother like me.
the step-by-step guidance made the process
Grinding, grinding.
Yeah, so going back to what I was saying, because
Yeah.
and then Keanu messaged me
Probably the only one awake right now.
this video that I'm watching. Man's voice is deep.
Employee share purchase plan has been a huge benefit to me for my down payment when I bought my first home. I also used it when I went on maternity leave and I needed some additional salary to take advantage of free money.
Oh man, this video is sweet. I just love the work I do sometimes. I amaze myself. But as I was saying, okay, having these realizations, and okay, let me ask you a question, because most people don't know or understand it and just use it as a thing. As what's that word called? I don't know. But what does self-awareness mean to you?
Self-awareness, being personally aware of things that you're doing, so you're not delusional. Because a lot of people, okay, self-aware people like you honestly, like you have a. That's a good question. Self-awareness. I think it's already in the definition. It's to be aware of self. However, in today's time, most people don't know themselves. So it's very hard for them to be aware of themselves in terms of their mentality, their behavior, things they're doing, how they're treating others. So I think it's just being aware of all aspects of yourself. I think self-aware is knowing where your strengths and weaknesses lie. I think that would be a concise way of putting it. You're fully aware of your strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, I haven't had my own business before, so I decided to join this group. I'm aware that business is something that others have been successful in. If I want to follow in the footsteps of a successful entrepreneur, I need to be around people that are doing those things. I need to find someone who's ahead of me so I can learn from their experience and decrease the learning curve. And I need to put those things into practice so that I can be successful as well. I think the stand is too heavy for where I'm putting it, because the phone is not staying.
You have a brick phone?
No, like the holder on my other car, when I put in the phone holder, it would just hold the phone in place. But I think because of the, I don't know what you would call these things, the grill for the AC and the heat, I guess maybe it's too thin, so the phone just keeps falling down.
So, self-awareness. Third, fourth grade. So I went down a rabbit hole the other day, just discovering myself, and self-awareness came up. And
how's the grill?
it's you versus your mind. Do you ever just ask yourself, why the hell am I doing this to myself all the time, over and over again, right? Does that ever go through your mind?
Yeah.
It's because your mind is in control. When you let your mind do the talking, or the thinking and talking, you just fall into that trap every time. So you have to see that your mind is saying something and respond to it. You can't let it be the one that's taken over. Did you write down your topics for your book?
No.
Why?
I think I was supposed to do it and I got distracted. I should have done it right away.
Yes. So
right in the
remember
moment.
that analogy, the backpack. I'll give you something to do now, but every day you wait, you're putting more and more rocks in your backpack. So it's harder for you to get to that destination of where I told you to go. And you're probably thinking, why didn't I do it? Oh, I had this to do or that, or something came across your mind, right? And you're doing all these other things. That's why I say you're doing too much. Stack course. You don't need to be doing all these things. If you do one thing at a time, you can get all these things done, but it's just one thing at a time. You're literally going in every direction. Oh, we got Keanu, the one guy that knows that the link. Oh man, we're just talking about mindset right now.
I'm down to semi-participate in that conversation while I'm doing my workout.
All right,
this
great.
Guy gets it in.
Yeah, this guy's D's, yo. He makes me look like chump change.
Yo, I'm gonna get you right, Dean.
For sure, man.
I'm gonna get you right.
So, Joel, going back to what I'm saying, whenever you hear these thoughts in your head, like, why am I not doing this? Life sucks. Why am I not getting the results that I'm looking for? When your mind starts talking like that, it's in control. And you have to understand your mind is not you. Your mind is just designed to think. It feels, because like I went down this deep conversation and it was just like, people say it's you versus you, but what does that really mean? And most people, they just hear these things, but they don't ever ask, well, what the hell does that mean? Like, they just take it for what it is. And I want to find down to a deeper level. So I asked ChatGPT, right? It's you versus your mind. And then you are the observer. So your mind is not you. You're the one that observes what your mind says. But most people don't challenge what their mind says. They just run with it. And that's why the majority of us are stuck, because we don't realize that whatever our mind's thinking is not really us. Your mind is designed to keep you safe. If it sees danger or unfamiliar activities, it's going to say, no, don't do that. When you want to invest in the stock market, you have to take on risk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you invest money into the stock market, you're taking a risk. And risk equals reward, correct?
Yeah.
The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. The smaller the risk, the smaller the reward. Now, risk, what's the opposite of risk?
Like just safety.
Very good. And what did I first say? Your mind is designed to keep you safe.
That's right.
So if your mind is designed to keep you safe, and risk is the opposite of safe, but risk can equal reward, then isn't your mind set up is designed for you to be a failure? Your mind doesn't want to see you win because it's scary. It doesn't want to do anything that it doesn't understand, unfamiliar territory. That's why the saying that I hear people say, it's not even really a saying, they just say it, but it's like successful people are also scared, but they do it anyways. I have to do the things scared because them doing the scary things is them not letting their mind control them. They're saying, I'll just do it anyways. Who cares? So that's why you have to do things regardless of how you feel. Your mind creates thoughts, fears, doubts, and dreams. But you are the one who notices all that. So your consciousness, awareness, or the one behind, so your consciousness, awareness, or the one behind the mask. So put simply, you're not the voice in your head. You're the one who hears it. So when you start hearing those negative thoughts or doubts, you have to pause and be like, okay, I hear the thoughts, but that's not me. And that's how you overcome these things. So at a point, I was just like, to Chad, I was like, what the hell are you saying right now? Because you just totally lost me. And I said, I'm confused, but because if it's me versus my mind, who am I? Like, I need you to explain that. Because for a good while, like while having this conversation, I was like, so if I'm not my mind, who am I? Like, how do I describe myself, right? And Chad just kept validating, well, saying it's like it's real and important, and your confusion is valid. It's a sign you're asking something real about yourself, not just a surface level. So when you say it's me versus my mind, here's what it reveals. Your mind is your thoughts, fears, emotions, worries, plans, overthinking, inner critic. It's like a running narrator. It's always telling you stuff, like, like having just thoughts, like you just literally be sitting there and just have thoughts going through your head. But who you are, you're the one that notices it. You're the one who hears the overthinking. You're the one who says, why am I thinking this? It's almost like you're the person questioning those thoughts. That's who you are. Does that make sense? So because you observe them, then you must separate from them. It literally took me half a day to understand what this was saying. But when it did, it made so much sense. Like today, I had a win. My win was I wanted to eat the dad's cookies and I put it right back in the cupboard. And I was like, yes, I won today. I didn't eat the cookies. And it's things like that, like when you start noticing, when you start hearing those thoughts in your head, right? So this is an analogy. Imagine watching a movie in your head. Your thoughts are the movie, but you're in the audience watching. You might get pulled into a drama, but you're still the one sitting there in the seat observing. When I say the one behind the mask, I mean the mask is what the world sees, your personality, your reactions, your thoughts. But behind that is the real you, awareness that experiences life. So who are you? You're the one who says, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I can't shut my mind off. Why can't I shut my mind off? I'm tired of this constant chatter. That I is the real you, not the voice in your head, but the one trying to understand it. So let me ask you something. When your mind is quiet, when you're at peace, do you disappear? Or do you feel more you than ever? That's a question for you guys. So when your mind is quiet, when you're at peace, do you disappear? Or do you feel more you than ever?
I think I feel more me than ever. When my mind is quiet, I'm living in the moment. and I'm paying attention to the things that are around me and the people who I'm with and what I'm doing in that moment. I'm not thinking about what happened in the past or what the future may be like. I'm not overthinking about certain things. So I'm just in the moment and I'm living freely.
Very good. For me, it's very hard. I just have constant noise, but I have to start meditating. Not so much quieting my mind, but observing that my mind's having these thoughts, but not letting it control me. So what about you, Drew?
Sorry, repeat the question again. I want to make sure I answer.
When your mind is quiet, when you're at peace, do you disappear or do you feel more you than ever?
I feel more me than ever. Sure. I feel more me than ever when my mind is quiet. And you don't disappear, you just go more inwards. Things that you didn't recognize before, you start to become more aware of. Now you might hear your heartbeat, or you're more aware of things that happen subconscious that you're not paying attention to. So you might become more aware of your breathing. You might become more aware of your heartbeat. You might become more aware of things going on around you. Like, oh, you didn't notice that the refrigerator makes this sound, or that, oh, where's this sound coming from? What animal is that? As you take the time to become more quiet, you don't disappear. You just become more aware of things that you don't really pay attention to. It's similar to your senses being heightened.
There's a good book. Hold on. Let me go get it for you guys. If you really want to open up your mind, this book, it's part snooze fest, but some good shit in here. So it's called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. So this is the book here. So this one's really good. I got halfway through it, but the language is a snooze fest. Yeah, so I got like halfway through this book. I should finish it. She's like, why don't you finish it? I was like, why don't you finish it?
Did she finish it?
No. But I must finish. Because I'm the one that reads in the house all of a sudden. But yeah, so you guys are better than me, so you guys are like one step ahead. But it was just an interesting conversation that I was having and just like the discovery that I had. So going back to what you guys are saying, just like being self-aware or just the surroundings and stuff. They told me do an exercise, like close my eyes and just taking a deep breath and just hear the thoughts, but I couldn't even hear the thoughts. External noises throw me off. My attention goes there. I was practicing for a church play today, and my son's banging on the wall. I can't read my lines because I just hear the banging. It's like, that's where my attention wants to go, right? What it was saying is, it's fine that you hear those things. You just have to be like, okay, I hear that. And that's you being able to acknowledge that you're hearing that, not letting it distract you, right? So this is something that I'm practicing. Quiet space, just be aware. So it's just like literally being aware. So you guys are really good at that. Even your mind is busy, the world is noisy. So it told me just listen and be aware of the sounds that I'm hearing. Hear a plane, cool. Hear the ringing, yep. Hear a car or a bird, good. So don't say that's annoying or I can't focus. Just let the sounds come and go and you'll be hearing it all. That's that listener, that's you. So not noise, not thoughts, just listener. So you're literally like a listener and an observer. So your mind says this isn't working. That's a thought. So smile at it. Then go back to listening. You don't need silence to find yourself. You just need to shift from being in your mind to watching your experience. So then I asked it, okay, so is the loud voice in my head, the thoughts in my head? And it said, what did it say? So it said there's three layers happening in your head. Your thoughts, random ideas, fears, plans, memories, and doubts. Like, I should have done that differently. What if I fail? Maybe I'll try again tomorrow. The voice in your head, the narrator of your life, comments on everything. Why am I thinking so much? This is stupid. I hope it works. It's louder, more personal. It feels like you. But the real you, the one who hears all that, the one who knows what's happening, the quiet awareness behind the noise. You've been there the whole time watching. Your mind's just doing all this nonsense. But then you're there and be like, oh, okay, cool. That's what you're thinking right now. So I'm going to do the opposite of that and not do those things, right? So is me the loud voice? No, it's not the loud voice. It feels like you because it's in your head, but it's just your mind talking to itself. Imagine two girls fighting for God knows what. And you're just like, yo, you're so dumb. You're just literally on the outside just laughing. And that's you just looking at them and observing that. And a lot of people, if they understood, like, you're literally letting those two voices win every day in your life, that's why your life sucks. If you stop that, life gets better for you. And it's like things start to happen. I don't know if you guys know the J curve or the hockey stick. Your life starts like this, and then it rockets and shoots up. If you stick with something long enough, you start to see those results. Like Keanu, you know that pretty well. Like the way you train and stuff. Once you started getting emotions of things, it's like, oh, this shit's easy. I can do this like all day, every day. It's the consistency piece and just noticing these things and just keep going. Like for me, I notice the more I talk to business owners, the more they're gravitating towards me. So it's like, okay, don't stop that momentum. Keep going. Like, something big's gonna happen, but you can't stop because of other things. Don't let that voice be the one that wins. So another analogy was you're the one noticing that voice. So think about it like this. Your mind equals radio station, so always playing something. Voice in your head equals the DJ that's commenting on the playlist. And then you're the one listening to the radio, but not the radio itself. If you can hear the voice in your head, then you can't be it because you're the one listening to it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, at that point, I was still confused because I was like, what are you saying to me right now? But slowly it started to just make more sense. And then then it brought up phone apps, but I didn't like that analogy. And then it said the theater started to make sense where it's like you walk into a small theater and sit down. A spotlight comes on and an actor walks out. The actor starts acting like you, talking, complaining, dreaming. He says stuff like, why am I not further? People are going to judge me. Maybe I'm not good enough. At first, you believe it. You think, that's me on stage. But then something weird happens. You realize, wait, if I'm sitting here watching this, I'm not the actor. I'm the audience. So the lesson is the actor is your mind and the voice in your head. The stage is your mental space, but you are the one watching the play unfold. And guess what? You can choose to leave the theater or stay and watch without reacting. So it started to make more sense at that point. If you recognize a voice talking in your head, that means that's not you. I have to hear stuff over and over again for it to make sense. When it really hit me was, is your goal not to hear that voice anymore? I was asking, is the goal not to hear that voice anymore? And it said, no, it's first recognizing it. Your goal is not to quiet the noise, but to recognize the noise. Where did it go? I just lost it. Recognize the voice, it's not you. So what's the voice in your head? That's just your mind doing what mind does. So reading, predicting, remembering, worry, and judging. It learned patterns from your past, from your fear, from other people. Sometimes it's helpful. A lot of times it's just noise. Trying to kill the voice is like trying to stop wind from blowing. You're living with this. It's not something that will ever go away. The goal is not to silence it, but to stop believing everything it says and stop identifying with it. Once you realize that's not me, it's just my mind being noisy, you take your power back. That voice starts to quiet down because you're no longer feeding it. The voice is like a pushy salesman in a store. It keeps talking, it's trying to get your attention, but the moment you realize I don't have to buy what he's selling, he loses power. So who are you really? You're the one that hears the voice. You're the one who can say, this is not helpful. I'm not listening today. Thanks, brain. I'm good. And you're the one that chooses what to focus on. That's your real power. So it's like whatever it is that you guys want to do. If you say, I want to go out there and make $1 million tomorrow, you can go out there and do it. You just need to find the right way of making $1 million. Like the easiest way to make $1 million, find somebody that has a $10 million problem, solve it for them, and they'll pay you 10% of that. There you go, your $1 million. But people in this day and age, or the majority of the population, will be like, no, that's impossible. I could never do that. But it's like there's people with stories out there that went from homeless to millionaires. So it's like, how? It's because they didn't let their mind take over. They said, I will find a way to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like AI just wants to be like, man, you suck, bro. Like, why are you still talking to me? But it was such a deep conversation. When you start thinking at that level, and when you want to start making like stupid amount of money, you got to do what the rich do. So, Jarrell, you met Ty Lopez. At first, I never really took a liking to him, but he says a lot of like cool shit. And between him and this next white guy, I can't remember his name, but they're like, yo, if you're not using Chat GPT every day or AI to enhance your intelligence, it's like, what the hell are you doing? Like that shit is a game changer. And the way these guys think on the level of how to use it, it makes me think how I should start using it to get to their level. Because my business partner for my other business always says he doesn't want to be the smartest person in the room because then he's not leveling up, he's not evolving. And
I've heard that.
huh?
I've heard that line before.
Yeah, because if you're the smartest person in the room, what can you learn? You learn
Zero.
nothing. So you want to be the dumbest person in the room because now you can soak up everything like a sponge from these people. Take that information and start implementing it, right? Especially if you can get it for free. One guy, I was just watching this, I scrolled on this guy's story, and he's like, I spent $200,000 in coaching and mentorship. Lady's like, can you repeat that? He's like, yeah, I spent $200,000 on mentor courses and programs. But the man makes well over $1 million. I wouldn't even say in a month. What does he do? I know he does about 100,000 a month. So that's monkey money. Why not invest in this so that I can make a 10 times return on this money? I learned this stuff. Now I can make 20 million, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you pick up stuff from these guys, and these guys, it's like the more and more I watch these guys' videos and they start talking about Chat GPT, I never think of it like that, right? And the fact that Chat GPT is like, yeah, this is some good deep thinking. It's like, okay, then I'm on the right path of discovering something for myself or learning more about myself to be better at the things that I'm doing. So it's like I'm aware of these thoughts in my head, and if I keep trying over and over, I will get better at it. So you're not the voice, you're the one who notices it. You just kept telling me the same thing in different ways.
The way I see that is like the two angels on your shoulders. For example, the Family Guy episode when Peter has a devil on his shoulder and the angel on the one's shoulder. And the way you're just talking about like the two girls arguing is like those two were going back and forth, and Chris was trying to convince Peter what to do. Like, should he go with the devil or should he go with the angel type thing? It's kind of like what's going on in your head on a daily basis. You know, like whether to do the right thing or whether to do the bad thing. And it's like you have those two going back and forth on your head, and you just gotta try your best to go with the angel. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's you who makes that final decision. Those thoughts in your head, those are just thoughts, but you come up with a decision on what to actually do.
So on the other voices, if the voice or voices, whichever you want to call it, that's talking in your head, that's your mind. The other voice that question it, that's who you are. So when you start questioning those thoughts, you see it being the observer, and you're in the place of power at that point. If people took at least a split second or even up to 3 seconds to really be aware of what they were doing, it could save them so much heartaches later on in life. So what else is there? Yeah, so the quieter voice, the one that notices or questions your first voice, that's you. It says things like, why do I always think like this? Wait, is that even true? That's not the kind of person I want to be. It's taking that moment to just pause. Like when you agree to something. So last night I got offered McDonald's at 1 a.m. after waking up from my nightmare, and I accepted it. It was only after I was questioning myself. And then it said, that's perfect, real life example. So it said, woke up, so it said, you're already stressed and disoriented state. Someone offered you McDonald's. So the voice or the mind, voice one, probably said something like, you're tired, just eating something, you deserve this, screw it, who cares? It's just one meal. You acted, you ate. Then the real voice woke up and said, why did I do that? I'm trying to make better choices. So what that shows is your mind made a quick emotional decision, impulsive and survival based. It loves comfort. Your mind loves comfort. But you, the real you, reflected, questioned it, and felt disconnected between you, felt the disconnection between what you did and who you're becoming. The lesson, you're not broken, you're awakened. Because the moment you start catching yourself, not in guilt, but in curiosity, you're growing. You start to respond instead of just reacting. So whenever you question something or something comes up, take 1 to 3 seconds to just pause and reflect and be like, this decision or this action, this emotion, what's going through my head right now, right? Next time you might still hear the mind say just eat, but now you recognize and go, that's just a voice again, not me. I know who I am and what I want. And I'll have more power to pause and choose differently. So that's what I came up with yesterday. Even for my son, I created something for him where it's like your brain voice versus your heart voice. Your brain voice is the loud one that tells us to do things fast without thinking, sometimes silly, sometimes mean. Your heart voice is the quiet voice that helps us make kind, smart, and strong choices. So that's kind of like what I came up for him so that he can understand it. And I just imagined to myself, I was like, if somebody taught a lot of us this when we were younger, where would we be today? Like for me, my life has just always been trial and error. I didn't grow up with anybody teaching me anything. For me to learn this at 40, I could only imagine where I would have been if I learned this when I was in my teens. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to spill on you guys. It's like everything's hitting you like a ton of bricks, but you have to pause and reflect and say to yourself, that's your mind talking. So you got to be the observer and be like, okay, my mind's going through this, but it's like, I gave you all these lessons. Now, what are you going to go do with them, right? To help you get out of this situation. So that's why I'm always calling you guys, texting you guys, saying, what are you doing? And like Keanu, I think Keanu had his moment before signing up with me when he realized how much time he was spending on random stuff. That was his wake up call because after that call, Keanu, I don't think Keanu has slept in since or like minimize like video game play. He's out there doing the most because he shut that part of his brain off. This is not the life I want. I'm trying to go a different direction. And it's literally just take control of the steering wheel and just go the other opposite direction. And things will start to happen for you. Nothing's going to happen overnight. This is a transformation journey, right? But if you stick with it for a year and Laura, even you you say, all right, I'm going for the year, but you break it down to small goals, things start to happen for you. Things start to show up. Give you some words of encouragement. Any questions for me?
Did you see my last video?
I was like, this fucking guy. I was like, man, I wanted to try it out, but today I had a fall. It was so bad. I was running back into the house and we have this garden thing and the bricks, I stepped on the brick and it slipped off and I flew in midair.
You okay though?
Yeah, I landed on my hand, so I went doctor, but I didn't break anything. I don't even think I bruised it. Like I can do other stuff, but it just feels sore. If I put pressure here, it hurts. So I can't even do push-ups right now or anything. I was doing little micro exercises to get myself back into routine, but now like this hand's mash up, so I gotta find probably just do like some leg exercises tomorrow or something, but I can't do weights, so I'll just have to do body weight or whatever. So that was my day today. My next door neighbor's kids see me, and my daughter was watching me from the door. I was like, "Where'd you guys come from?" Like,
They just popped out the ground.
yeah, like literally, my head was like this close to hitting the ground. If my hand wasn't there, I would have hit the concrete.
Was it black ice?
No, like because like I was running through the grass because like it was
Okay.
garbage day, but they didn't take the compost yet, so I just wanted to run back into the house, and then so imagine there's like two things like this. I stepped on one of them and then it went like this. And I lost my balance. I just literally went like this. And then I was like, bam! Turned myself back the right way. I was midair and just couldn't do nothing. Yeah, it was quite funny this morning.
Jesus, guy almost damaged himself for some compost.
I started seeing stars for a bit.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. There's another book that I'm reading. And one thing that it says, it's the highest form of learning is teaching. And whatever you guys are learning, I encourage you to teach. That's the whole premise of my program. You're learning from me to teach others what you know. Get compensated for it. I keep telling, or I don't know, I think I tell Keanu this, but just tell stories. People like stories. It's the easiest way for people to remember. And I'm hearing this from a guy that makes millions of dollars. If he's saying it, why not listen, right? It works for him. He's doing good. And just
talking about Ty?
No, I keep forgetting Stephen Bartlett or Stephen, the guy Diary of a CEO.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, so so I'll give you guys a quick lesson, but he says there's
That's,
5 bucks.
that's what the book is named, Diary of a CEO.
It's a YouTube channel.
Both. So his book and thing. His book and his channel. So there's 5 buckets. Keanu, was it me and you that were talking about the 5 buckets?
Probably no, I don't recall.
Okay, so we have 5 buckets. And those 5 buckets, you want to fill them in order. And the way he sold me on those 5 buckets, he started with a story. If you always start with a story, it makes it more compelling and easier for people to grasp. We like stories. That's what we gravitate towards. Do you guys remember what you learned in grade 10 math?
Maybe somewhat.
A specific lesson.
Quadratic
I wouldn't be
formula.
able to answer that question because I'll just mix it up with other grades.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Grade 9 and grade 10 math is like
Very similar.
Okay, now tell me one kid story that you remember. Or like a nursery rhyme or something.
Oh, okay.
Jack and Jill.
Went up the hill. Okay. You guys remember that because those are like it was like a story being told. So Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down, broke his crown, and something after that. I can't remember. But that's a
You Are
story.
My Sunshine?
Yes. You remember those, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you this story because then you guys are gonna remember this. You guys will probably even know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the author, he's like, all right, my buddy was out just cutting the grass. This guy was jogging and ran up to him like, hey, how you doing? And the man's like, oh, I'm doing well. The man starts spilling out everything to this guy. He's like, yeah, I'm putting chips in the brains of monkeys, testing new ways to drive cars without fuel, and finding how we can have life on a different planet. And he's like, all right, man, I'm going back on my run. Who am I talking about?
Is that Elon Musk?
Exactly. So you think if I ran up to you guys and said that one day, you guys would be like, yo, this guy is crazy. But the reason why he's able to do that is because he filled 5 buckets and he filled it in a specific order. Their 5 buckets is knowledge. That's your first bucket. Your second bucket is skills. Your third bucket is network. Your fourth bucket is resource. And your 5th bucket is status. But that's not the right word. I'll find the right word for you.
Let me see if the soup is good.
Stories are more stories are more powerful than data, but both are important. So your knowledge, your skills, your network, your resources, your reputation, who you are. So how these 5 buckets works is it's your knowledge, what you know. So we all can get knowledge. You can read, watch something, whatever. That's your knowledge. When you take your knowledge and apply it, that now becomes a skill. Whatever you learn, you have to start applying it. That now becomes your skill. Once you apply your skill and the market starts to see that you're worth something, you start building your network. So, Jarrell, you are that social butterfly. You have connections to Ty Lopez. You have to start utilizing those things. Right now, I'm kind of disappointed in you because you didn't go to the thing at his house.
In Beverly Hills.
Based on what you've been learning with me, you could have took that knowledge, made it a skill and applied it over there, spoke to people, even met new connections. America is the land of opportunity. And just meeting these people here and there, it could have probably been like, I help people out with soccer.
There's hope because my ticket is still reserved. I can either go to that one again at that mansion, or I can go to one that's at a different location. But I heard the mansion one's the best.
Grant Cardone was there at this one.
Because I couldn't go, I didn't have the money at the time.
You take your knowledge, apply it, it becomes a skill. The skill exchanges for money, you grow your network. When you grow your network, you have resources. Resources can mean anything. It could be manpower, it could be money, it could be anything that you need, right? Once you have the resources, it's what the world thinks of you, and that becomes your reputation. So those are the 5 buckets. But the most important of those 5 buckets are the first 2. Why? Because knowledge and skills can never be taken away, but your network, resources, and reputation can be. Once you have knowledge and skill, you're off to the races. So Elon Musk, when I mentioned him, he went and he acquired the knowledge first, and then he applied it. For example, the rockets. He said, why can't we just reuse the rockets or make it reusable? So, or make it cheaper, right? So he went out there and found a way to do that. And that's why he has SpaceX, right? He creates all these companies because he figures out the bare minimum, hires people smarter than him, and gets the shit done. And that's how you have to start thinking.
Repeat that again.
I said he figures out the bare minimum and then finds people that are smarter than him. They get the job done, and he just rinses and repeats it. And he just makes a bag of money every single time.
It's true because the PayPal Mafia is a group of people. Like they were all Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and it's like everyone who was part of that group is successful.
And it's like you start living life the proper way. It's like he bought the car, did all the fancy stuff, and it's like, okay, now I don't need to do this. I did it. I lived my life. Now let me go make more money. And everybody's pretty much a billionaire from that group.
Everyone's super successful. I think I forget the guy's name, who created LinkedIn, is part of that too.
LinkedIn, I want to say probably Google, those guys, like they're all
Sergey Brin.
Yeah.
And Larry Page. Isn't Larry Page is Google, no?
Yeah.
Isn't Sergey Brin and Larry Page? It's 2 of them.
Yeah. And there's a third guy, Asian guy. And there's also Frontier. That's another guy that's a part of that group as well. So yeah, all those guys. But yeah, so that's the golden nuggets I want to share with you guys.
Okay. So what should be my next move then?
As I said, reach out to all those people and start executing. Like, hey, I'm starting training. It's warmer now. I'm starting training. You already spoke to people. Now it's time to just seal the deal with them.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. What you should do so that you don't say, I will start tomorrow. You start today by texting everybody and scheduling the text to send it to them first thing in the morning. You don't hear from them by like 12 o'clock. Call them.
Follow up.
Grant Cardone. The follow-up, it's in the 15th, not the first. You don't give up after number 4. Maybe after 15, you slow down a bit, but you don't stop trying. You keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's it.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Can you schedule texts?
Yeah.
How? Well, I'm gonna learn.
You literally go in there and you can schedule it. It's doable, my friend. I don't really use iMessage at all.
Or use WhatsApp.
No. It has to be text. You hit the plus sign, and then it says send later. Did you end up calling Michael for the phone?
No. Send later. Yeah, you're right. I probably will soon though, because this phone's getting old.
All right. Any other questions for me?
Nope.
Nah.
All right.
Yeah. But the video was good, right?
Yeah, I liked it. Just keep doing stuff like that. The captions was good. Wherever you find that spots where you can put voiceover or text in there, just keep changing up till you find what your rhythm is, and then keep going. But reach out to people that are liking your stuff.
I'm gonna mix it up between voiceovers and like throwing in music or captions because I like doing those too.
Yeah, that's fine. Just be consistent with it.
Yeah. I did do a call to action, but my call to action was like, I don't know if it was like really a call to action still. I just said, let me know if you try the workout. That's all I said, the call to action.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys.
All right.
I'm off to bed.
All right, take it
Yeah.
easy.
Or
Take it easy,
sleepy.
guys.
Peace out.
Later.